Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan Ghost War is exactly the kind of controlled chaos us fans were hoping for. A muscular, throwback spy thriller that feels like a feature-length victory lap for the Prime Video series. It's a nostalgic one last ride with Jack, Greer, November, Elizabeth, and a new MI6 wildcard, and it absolutely delivers. The film is a direct continuation of the Amazon series, with John Krasinski back as Jack Ryan, now in his first big-screen outing as the character. He's tried to leave the life behind, running a hedge fund in New York, when James Greer tracks him down and drags him back into the shadows. The opening sets the tone. A covert intelligence facility in Dubai is stormed by a small, ruthlessly efficient strike team led by a steely, silver-haired commander whose only instruction is no hesitation, instantly framing the enemy as someone who understands and anticipates Western tradecraft. That attack is just the first move in a larger operation tied to suspicious financial transfers and a rogue black ops unit that the agency would rather pretend never existed. The conspiracy Ryan uncovers is built around an off-the-books unit that was once deployed as Washington's dirtiest tool and then officially disavowed when politics changed. These are the Ghosts, operators trained by the same system that produced Jack, Greer, and November, but cut loose and weaponized by resentment and betrayal. Each step Ryan takes, chasing money flows, following back-channel intel, revisiting compromised asset networks, is predicted and countered because this enemy knows the CIA's patterns, its protocols, and, painfully, Jack's own instincts. It gives the film that cat-and-mouse texture the series did so well. Every win feels like a trap, and every lead has a little too much convenient clarity. Fan service can be lazy. Here, it's the point. Jack is forced to reunite with battle-tested CIA operative Mike November and his former boss, James Greer, the old war horses who've bled through 4 seasons of global crises. Their dynamic is instantly familiar. Greer's weary moral compass, November's gallows humor and boots-on-the-ground instincts, and Jack's desk analyst brain trying to keep up with an operation spiraling into open war. They're joined by Emma Marlowe, a razor-sharp MI6 officer whose intel is crucial, but whose motives are never fully clear until late in the game. Emma isn't just the British liaison. She's a reminder that other services have their own ghosts, their own botched operations, and their own reasons to use Jack as a piece on the board. The film keeps the stakes more intimate than some earlier Jack Ryan stories. No doomsday submarines or world-ending missiles, and that's a deliberate choice. Instead, it's about a series of coordinated hits and financial moves designed to expose and punish the very institutions that built men like Jack and the rogue unit leader now orchestrating the chaos. Over the course of the story, Jack is forced back into the field in Europe and the Middle East as the rogue unit picks off assets and burns safe houses, always staying one move ahead because they're exploiting classified operations Jack himself once helped design. We get that classic Ryan rhythm, analytical breakthroughs at the computer, followed by brutal, messy, boots-on-the-ground fallout when the theory meets reality. Greer's arc is quietly one of the most affecting. As deputy director now, he's the one who signed off on burying operations like this in the first place, and every body that drops feels like a bill coming due for choices he made years ago. Mike November, now operating as a private contractor, is the guy who has to live with what happens when the flag no longer covers you. His loyalty is to the people in the room, not the acronym on the door. And that tension pays off in a couple of late film choices where he backs Jack over the agency. Emma's big reveal, that MI6 has its own fingerprints on the original Black Ops program and has been trying to contain the fallout in their own way, reframes her as both complicit and redemptive, making the final act less about America versus the bad guys and more about how allied services bury their sins and hope the ghosts never come knocking. The third act takes the team back to the origin point of the Rogue unit, a location tied to an operation all of them thought had been sealed away in a classified after-action report and collectively forgotten. It's a smart structural move. The battlefield is less about geography and more about institutional memory, decisions made in previous crises that now ricocheted back as moral shrapnel. Jack's final confrontation with the unit's leader isn't just about stopping a coordinated series of attacks. It's essentially an argument between two versions of the same man. One chose to keep believing in the system, to keep pushing paperwork and arguing in committee rooms. The other embraced the idea that once you've been turned into a weapon and discarded, burning down the armory is the only logical response. The film gives Jack something close to closure. He survives, this isn't that kind of franchise move, but the cost is a permanent breakup with the idea that the CIA can ever be fixed from the inside. There's a reason he starts the movie in finance. He already tried to walk away, and by the end, you understand he's not going back to a desk or a title. He's going back to a life where he chooses his own fights. Director Andrew Bernstein leans into a brisk, globe-trotting pace. At 1 hour 45 minutes, this is tight for modern spy thriller standards, with a clear A-plot and almost no fat. The action is shot cleanly. You can actually read the geography of the gunfights and assaults, and there's an emphasis on real-time tension as operations unfold with lives on the line and the threat escalating at every turn. The tone sits right between the procedural realism of the early series seasons and the more bombastic action of later episodes. You get the whiteboard analysis and interagency bickering, but you also get brutal, close-quarters fights, car ambushes, and that opening facility assault that plays like a statement of intent. It feels like a welcome descent into chaos for us who missed this particular flavor of spycraft, controlled, methodical, but always one mistake away from total disaster. Krasinski has fully grown into the reluctant warrior version of Jack Ryan, less the wide-eyed analyst of Season 1, more a guy whose body language says, "I know exactly how bad this can get, and I'm still going in." Wendell Pierce continues to be the franchise's secret weapon. His Greer brings gravitas and a lived-in sense of consequence that makes every briefing room scene as compelling as the firefights. Michael Kelly's Mike November remains the hangout character you wish you could follow into his own spin-off, irreverent, lethal, and just detached enough from the bureaucracy to say the things Jack won't. Sienna Miller's Emma Larlow is a strong addition, part ally, part mirror, part warning, and she slots into the established chemistry without feeling like a late-game gimmick. For us longtime viewers, just seeing this lineup sharing screens again, Krasinski, Pierce, Kelly, plus returning figures like Elizabeth Wright at Langley, hits that one last mission emotional sweet spot. My final verdict. The movie isn't trying to be the next great reinvention of the spy film. It's trying to be a cinematic epilogue for characters we've spent 4 seasons with, and on that front, it largely nails the brief. If you loved the show and hated watching it fade out after Season 4, Ghost War feels like being invited back into the war room for one last crisis, a final, messy, thrilling descent into the kind of chaos only Jack Ryan can navigate. 8.5. Hey, want more Wrightflicks reviews? Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it.